Yeah. No. I haven't seen her. Have you? Oh, hey everybody. This is the Vipa. It is Monday, wonderful Monday, June 21st. They were looking for Mala Kamala, see if she was around the Florida border, but I said, shoot, she doesn't even go to the Mexican border. Why should she come to the Florida border? Anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful Father's Day weekend to all you great fathers out there. Just want to say hi and God bless you today on as we go here talking about some current issues concerning this wonderful United States of I love America. And we're going to go over some subjects here, but I would love it, okay, if you could please like, subscribe, and add your comments today. If you could please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please contact us with any questions or even any prayer requests. If you have prayer requests, anything that we can assist you in. And I want to give a shout out to, we went to a wonderful gathering on Friday in Tampa, Florida with David and Stacy Whited from Flyover Conservatives. We want to give them a shout out and a thank you. Thank you to Monkey Works for an awesome interview we just did last Thursday. God bless them and others who like Julie Green Ministries, and also Kevin Jessup that did an interview with us on our Seed Live. And we have many more to come. God is doing something amazing with all of us working together. And my wife and I firmly believe that it's not about working with, yourself. It's not about working with, not helping one another. It's about helping one another share the truth. And that's what it's about, and when we were at the get together with David and Stacy, it was so wonderful. We met so many wonderful, conservative, beautiful people there. And we want to shout out to all of them. And so anyway, let's get rolling and talk about a few things, So, what's happening today in this country is a great awakening. A great awakening is happening right now with God's children and with people in general. Look, it's even happening in the media, believe it or not. God is starting to wake up some of these fake news people. They're beginning to leave the stations and go into something else because they want to share the truth, And it's amazing because the truth sets you free, as it says right here in John 8:31 through 32, and the truth shall set you free. And that's what we want to do. My wife and I, that's why In Truth News was created, to give you the truth of everything going on around you. We need to know the truth of what's going on for the sake of our children, and teach them the truth and teach others the truth and wake people up who are blind. It's not about hating. I'm not going to hate liberals. I'm not going to hate Democrats, okay? Because God doesn't hate them. He loves them because they're his children too. The problem is they're blind. Some of them are possessed. I mean, you can't help that, but they can be delivered. But the whole thing is, people, is by working together as a team, okay, and sharing the news, sharing the truth, speaking the truth, standing up, rising. We got to do it right now. Now is the time that God has put this into place for us to be awakened. We got to be awakened and understand what is happening. What is happening in the country around us? What's going on in the country around us? Before, years ago, people weren't really concerned, like the regular Joe. We go to work and we do our job and we come home, we eat dinner, we watch TV, and we pass out on the couch, guys, or whatever. But now this is hitting home. Everything that's going on is an awakening for everyone to understand the things around us. So last year, the awakening began. The awakening started with the V. Okay. The problem was that we were blind for so many years. Okay. As Americans, we were blinded, and we were blinded because we were under like a hypnotic spell was done. And then when the V was created, because it was created under an agenda for us to, do a ritual that they set in place in a Luciferian ritual. That's what it was, set years ago. This was years ago by the New World Order people, the people behind it, the Bilderbergs, all these other people. I don't want to name them all, but you do your research, you'll know who I'm talking about. I call them the globalists, the elitists, whatever. They infiltrated the government heavily with starting back at 9/11, September 11th. That when that happened, a shift occurred in this country of fear and terrorism. It put us into a spell of not, our freedoms began to be controlled by the higher authorities that be. We began to realize what terrorism was, even though in realistic and factual evidences that this was a job that 9/11, conspiracy theorists say, oh no, that was an attack from within, which I believe that. I firmly believe that, and I know that. Okay, there's a lot of evidence proving it, but it started there. Then it went on with the housing market, everything that happened in 2007, 2008. Then you started noticing, back in 2004, there was massive earthquakes in certain areas of the world. There was a lot of things, okay, that were happening, begin to happen in the United States that triggered, okay, what you would call a hypnotic spell over the American people. And what's shameful is the first atrocity that occurred was, to me, was the assassination of President JFK. I wasn't born yet, even though my wife will argue with that because, we always play around about our age. It was in 1963. He was assassinated at the end of the year, and then I was born the year after that. So that kind of gives you my age, okay, which is cool. But I always wish that I could have met JFK because his charisma, the fact that he was a good president. He wasn't a perfect president. There's no such thing, okay, because everyone has their faults, right? We all have our faults, and God forgives those faults. But, when it comes to presidents, you're not going to find a perfect president. Even with Trump, I mean, he's made his mistakes in life, but I know that that man was put in there by God, and he's still our president to this day. Okay. So we have to understand that when that occurred, when they were able to take out a president like that, okay, that was a trigger to the more atrocities that were occurring, and it just got worse and worse, but under our eyes, and we had a veil over our eyes, okay, to believe that it was that the media tells us the media was fed what it was, and that's what it was, and we believed it as an American people. But we're beginning to wake up now and realizing that the mainstream media they don't reflect the truth. But what's interesting now is that something that my wife always says, and that's very true. Evil always has to state its purpose, what it's going to do, you know? So if you look in all the speeches of past corrupt politicians, let's go back to 9/11, that politician in particular, his father, the Bushes, okay? They were very corrupt people. And his agenda as the old man Bush, he really strived for a new world order. Okay, that was his deal. That's what he wanted. But anyway, after him, his son was president. Clinton was president. You know how wonderful the Clintons are. They're such good people. You know, a lot of people died mysteriously. No one knows why, but for some reason, they were connected to them. You know, and it just went on and on to then Obama was elected. There was a lot of things under him, and then finally, okay, in 2016, okay, one of the greatest presidents in the world took office, and I'm pretty sure they thought, the corrupt elitists thought, oh, he's going to do what we want because he's one of us. Because, Trump had money. He was a rich man. But he flipped the coin because already I believe God already knew that, he knew God and he knew what he had to do. And he had to end corruption. So anyway, all this being said, okay, is that shift that took place over 4 years began to instill in the true Americans, okay, the ones who believe in doing right and the ones who believe in God and the ones that believe in this country, the one of us who stand for freedom, okay, we began to wake up little by little. Then after November 3rd, there was an awakening. And it was like, oh my gosh, here we are. What happened? And we began to take notice of all the evil, and God began to is opening all of our eyes. So we have to wake up, and we have to pray for those people around us to wake up, because if we don't, we got to pray for their souls. We got to pray that God lift the veil from their eyes, because there's so many blinded people and they think they're doing right. They think they're supporting, but they're blind. They're walking with blinders on, and it's sad. The whole thing with Fauci, I call him Fauci, and the vax and the V, all that, was an agenda by the global evil elitists to do depopulation and control of the masses. And they said, okay, so for us to keep our power, for you to have power in a Luciferian agenda, you have to commit a sacrifice. You have to do a human sacrifice. Look it up. Luciferian rituals. Okay. So all of that is a part of a ritual that took place over a year ago, when we started having to wear the thing on our face. We started have to be 6 feet apart. Okay, look, I worked in healthcare for over 25 years. I worked in surgery. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry of hospitals, all kinds of different areas. I was involved in hospitals in a big corporation that I worked for. Okay, listen. Viruses don't know the meaning of distances, for one thing. And a true virus, okay, your body will build an immunity to, and usually depending on your health situation, you will conquer it, overcome it, build immunity to it. But the V was not created by nature. It wasn't a natural one. So what happened? That was created so that they could create the vax. Okay. So when the vax was created, okay, they instilled in that a a DNA changer. Now, I can go into all of this, get scientific on you, but I don't want to go into it. All I know and all I want to say is that if you haven't taken it, do not take it. Do your research. And for those of you who have taken it and you realize, oh man, I shouldn't have, God is mighty and God can heal and God can change and he has the power to. Just pray and ask him to change you and protect your DNA and to rid it from your body. And I believe he can. Listen, that vax has RNA, mRNA structures with nanolipids, they call it. People are beginning all over the world to have what they call an electromagnetic infection. They call it infection or something like that is what it's called. And things are sticking to them that are metal, all these. See, so what happens is, now don't think I'm crazy by what I'm going to say. All right. But what's happening is it's going to be a DNA changer in the bodies of those who have taken it. And then what happens is that you're literally changing. Okay. And anything having to do with electromagnetic type frequencies in your body, of course, also if a signal is thrown, all right, can also alter things in your body as well. So anyway, I'm not going to go into more depth of this. One day I will, as a revelation, but I will say this, we have to stand up against this and people need to be held accountable. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So the first thing I want to talk about, okay, is something that hits very home to me. September 3rd of last year, I lost my sister Joy to, they wanted to call it a fentanyl overdose, but we know, in fact, that she was murdered, and that it was a homicide. It's in homicide right now. It's been for now almost a year. They're still investigating the way it went down because she wasn't that type of person that would do something like that. But anyway, I wanted to share something that's an epidemic right now in this country. And this is all a result, okay? This is all a result of what's been going on in the border, what even before that, the agenda of the Democrat leftists and the liberalists and the globalists involved working with cartels and the cartels that are on the border, what they're doing. That, look, this is an agenda to kill us, folks, to kill the American people. They took advantage. I mean, when you have people that are taking advantage of situations like these cartels and these manipulative people that are running these cartels, supporting them. Look, it's not just the cartels. You got to look beyond that. There's agendas beyond it. Why fentanyl? When I was in healthcare, fentanyl was one of the most powerful narcotics on the market. Okay. And I'm talking about in healthcare, one of the most powerful painkillers. Why? Because you only needed a little bit, a teeny little bit. Look, 50 cc's of saline to 0.1 or 0.01 milligrams of fentanyl. Okay. It's very minute. And then when the bag was run on a patient, it wouldn't even last a whole bag. They couldn't take it. It was too much. They had to level it off and then discontinue it, DC it. So fentanyl is a very, very powerful downer. In other words, it only takes a few granules. Okay. And I'm going to show a video here about it, but it only takes a few granules to kill someone. And, unfortunately, my sister Joy, when they did the autopsy, they found enough to kill 2 elephants inside of her. So that's why it's where it's at. But, I know she's with the Lord, and because I know that God is a merciful God. Okay. So what's happening right now on the border and with the fentanyl and the methamphetamines and everything, it hits home to us because it's something that happened in our lives to someone we loved. And the thing is that it's happening now to a lot of people due to the pandemic and due to the V and all that's happened. People fell in depression. People started using these kind of drugs to either lift them up or to make them feel better. So it's become an epidemic, and people are dying right and left. And we have to do something about this, people. That's why this border crisis, there's something that has to be done. So I want you to watch this clip I put together concerning the fentanyl problem coming from the border. It's crazy.
It's a drug 80 to 100 times more powerful than morphine, and the DEA says it's killing San Diegans at an alarming rate.
The number of fentanyl-related deaths has nearly doubled this year compared to last year. So why the spike? One reason, according to the DEA, the pandemic. Tonight, News 8's Kelly Hessedal takes an in-depth look at the fentanyl crisis here in San Diego.
News 8 cameras captured call after call. Sometimes there were multiple calls a day.
Cardiac arrest.
Fentanyl overdoses, the victims all ages.
Hotel 39.
Neighborhoods across San Diego, Hillcrest, Claremont, Granville, Pacific Beach. The drug that took their lives.
These pills are laced with fentanyl.
Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, more potent than heroin, and 80 to 100 times more powerful than morphine.
We're talking very, very small quantities that are going to kill you.
And sometimes users have no idea they're taking it.
This is essentially our number one problem on the streets, is specifically with respect to the overdose deaths.
Special Agent Mike Wasser says the problem has become so alarming. In 2018, a special task force was created, and they're going after the fentanyl dealers who supply the fatal dose. Inside, they found counterfeit oxycodone pills laced with fentanyl.
One of the most common ways is by smoking the pill or a fragment of the pill off of a piece of foil.
The price range, anywhere from $3 per pill to $30 a pill. Users can overdose on fentanyl from just a tiny amount. And just to give you an idea of how deadly fentanyl is, the DEA says think of a package of sweetener. If you divided the contents up into 500 lines, just one line could kill you. You can also see the deadly amount compared to a penny. Agents test the substances at the scene. They must be extremely careful handling the drug because it's so powerful. Even getting it in your eyes or inhaling it can cause an overdose. In the second highest meth bust in history, agents found 30 pounds of fentanyl.
So 30 pounds? You can extrapolate that out. That's enough to kill hundreds and thousands of people.
And what's even more alarming, he says, a more powerful form of fentanyl called carfentanil, that's 10,000 times more potent than morphine, has found its way into the U.S. as well.
Carfentanil is used by veterinarians to sedate elephants and rhinoceros.
The cartels know they have a consistent clientele in the U.S.
They're always looking to fill a void. They're always looking to take advantage of a weakness that we have.
Did you hear what he said? Hundreds of thousands of people. It's ridiculous what's happening right now. And what gets me, people, is that this is the stuff going on in the border. They're coming over the border and bringing these things. And look, if it's killing hundreds of thousands, if it could kill 100,000 people, that's their goal. That's what these leftist globalists want. They want to destroy us. They call us the useless eaters. Did you know that? The useless eaters. In one of my previous shows, I showed a clip of a doctor who had a client who was an elitist, and she was saying soon, the great cleansing is coming, the purging of the useless eaters, because of the population of the world and where it's at. They want to pretty much take us out. Those those who are rich and elite, and you know, they're the devil's children. That's who they are. That's pretty much what they are and what they do, you know. And it's sad because people are dying. People are dying every day from doing this stuff. And because of the V and all that happened last year, and you know, people have fallen into depression and they needed a way out, or they just wanted to die. You know, it's sad. It's just sad facts, you know. So one thing I wanted to talk about also is what's going on with this critical race theory. I played a clip last time I was on, and I'm gonna play this clip again. And it's about parents who are stepping up against it. You know, there's no reason to be stating that there's racism going on like it used to, you know, back when I was growing up, even before back then. You know, there's always going to be racism in every country. There's racism. I've been to other places, countries, and there's racism there in within its own culture. But in the United States, we're so diversified now. Okay, a lot of the African Americans, you know, marrying Hispanics or whites, Hispanics marrying African Americans, and so on and so forth. Asians marrying Hispanics. You know, there's such a diversity of culture in the United States now than ever before that you can't really say that there's the same racism and that it's been going on the same way. It hasn't. You know, I'm a Latino, I'm Hispanic Latino, and I'm also a Sephardic Jewish descendant. So, you know, I know what racism is. I grew up around it. I grew up in Florida. So I know what it's like to be discriminated against. I know all that, you know, but I learned how to handle it in a different way, and how to change people's ideas about me. You know, that's how I handled it. I'm not saying it was right, but, you know, we got to wake up, folks, because this is a woke thing. They're trying to teach our children that if you're white, you're racist. You know, that's not true. That's not true. You know, that's not true. What if you have a child that is black and white mix, or black and Latino, and who is very light skinned? So is that child a racist? Really? No, it's wrong. We have to step up against these things. These are tactics of the enemy, okay, of Lucifer himself, you know, who is creating creating an issue about race. Look, we've had a black president. I mean, come on. It's not like we are the most supreme racist country in the world. We're not. When other countries are doing cleansing of different cultures and the genocide and all this stuff, we don't do that here in America. But apparently, you know, this is what these democratic leftist globalists are trying to do, trying to force this country into bowing. Okay. You know what? I saw a thing on the news where you know, they were celebrating Juneteenth. Okay. Look, there's nothing wrong with having a holiday, okay, for a cause. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But at that celebration, they were taking a knee to men and women. I'm sorry. I don't take a knee to a man or a woman. I take a knee to God, that and Jesus. He is my king. I will bow down all day to him. I will bow down all day to God, but I will never, never, never take a knee to a man. Never, never. But see, what does that tell you? That tells you that's Lucifer's agenda, because Lucifer wants you to bow down and take a knee. And most of the African Americans that have lived through the times of racism, they don't believe in this. They don't believe in what's going on with this critical race theory. They're against it. Okay? They're against it. A lot of Latinos, Hispanics are against it. It's the blind ones who haven't seen yet that don't understand it. They're ignorant of the truth. We have to teach them, brothers and sisters. We have to teach them the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to understand the fact that we have to know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So don't, if you see someone talking about critical race theory, make sure you do your research. Look, I'm going to say this. They're erecting a statue, a 700-pound, I'm going to call it a thing for a person who was a criminal. Yes, he died. But there's a lot of factors that happened in that death. He himself was overdosing when all that occurred, and was overdosing because he swallowed almost everything he had in the car trying to hide it. This is a person who beat a pregnant woman with a pistol. Come on, man. Really? You're going to place this person above Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, and, where are the statues for my black brothers who died in Vietnam? Where are the statues for the ones that died in World War II? And even in the Civil War that fought for Abraham Lincoln and fought for the freedom of this country? Where are the statues for these people? Where are they at? Where are the statues for the Latinos that fought? Huh? And not all the white people were honored either. How about the Native Americans? How about the Asians that fought? The American Asians that were born here. Where are their statues? See, when you erect something that should have never been done, then you're giving a knee, and you're just falling into what Lucifer wants. Lucifer is making a laughing stock of the powers that be. That's all. And it is a laughing stock. What we have in office right now, it's not even an office. It's I'm going to separate it because it's the United States of Evil, and it's under Mala and Mala Kamala and Frauden. That's their office. But I'm sorry, the president, my president, is Trump, the 45th president, and still president. Why? Because he actually is the president, and all this thing about even Trump was racist. I had to laugh at that because Trump was not racist. And then when I heard that they said that Lincoln had slaves, I about fell out of my chair because, Lincoln was so poor, he didn't have shoes. There was no way how could he have slaves? And he was from Illinois. He was from a northern state. Lincoln didn't have race in his mind. His agenda was to free the country of slavery. Even some of his people of the North who did believe in slavery, he went against them. So let's watch this. I want you to watch something that some parents stood up in a school against critical race theory. Let's watch it.
Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out? Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult.
One friend of mine, her kindergarten child came home and said, "Mommy, am I bad because I'm white?" Other kids are being taught that they're not as good as other kids by the color of their skin.
CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you. An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people. Today, we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone.
Yeah. Hey, I want to shout out to Philo, Beto, 34, Angel Rock, Messengers of Truth, Kyle Cooper, Mike D. Thank you, Mike D, for sharing that about Floyd's father was a high-ranking Freemason. Interesting. And he had a double ego. I was just saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. And thank you, Cheryl S, for that's very true. The Navajo code talkers, man. I'll tell you what, I've had a lot, growing up in Florida, I had Seminole Indian friends. I lived in Colorado for some years. I had some Ute Indian friends. And, Indians play a very special part in my heart. The Native American Indians, and what about them? The things they went through. I mean, really? And you're gonna put up an erection of a statue of someone who doesn't even deserve that honor. I'm sorry, no. Listen, Malcolm X. Let's talk about Malcolm X. When Malcolm X started, with the Muslim ordeal, and he's heavy into it, and until one day he went to Mecca, and I don't know if you guys know what Mecca is, but supposedly a meteor came, and there's the meteor rock in there, and it's where a lot of Muslims go, or they call them children of Ishmael, the Arabians, the descendants of Ishmael. A lot of people go there to Mecca to discover truths. Okay. So Malcolm X took that trip. And when he went there, it was a life changer for him, because he realized that God didn't look at color, because there were all different types of races there in Mecca. Okay. So I'm going to play a little clip of Malcolm X and his thoughts on liberalists and Democrats.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to.
You can see the wolf coming, but a fox you can't see. And that's what we got. We got some foxes in administration right now. And like I said, they're in their own country. That's the United States of evil, the underlord Frouden and his minions and his underlord servant Malak Malala, who hasn't even been to the border. I mean, really, come on. I'm going to play something here shortly where people are fed up about that. We got children. We got thousands of children at that border in little, my wife calls them hot pockets, because they're in tinfoil. They're still there. I mean, what is going on with these kids? Last week I played a clip of one of the senators, very, very upset, talking about how their fake families coming to get these children, and they came and got a bunch of these kids, and they were egg farmers, and they put them to work. They were beating them, and they got busted for it. They got caught. And this is what's happening in this country. And where are the other ones going? And also these cartels are making hundreds, probably millions of dollars off of these children. Sex trafficking, selling them to elitists, to get the drug adrenochrome for their elitist high that they do. There's so much intricacy involved in what's happening. I don't want to even tell you half the things that we know. I don't want to scare you. It's graphic. One day I will do a show just for adults only that we can talk about these things. But, I will say this. The Lord told me that there's not going to be 1 ounce of mercy for those who have hurt these children. Not 1 ounce of mercy for these people. These are children, folks. And, they're my people. There are people And even though they come from South America and they come from poor situations, they're still human beings. And this administration, this fake administration that's up there, you know, they're not even acknowledging, they're not doing anything about it. So it's up to us, we the people. Listen, the government was set in place to serve the people, not the people to serve the government. Even Ronald Reagan stated that. He said, the government, it was set in place to serve the people, not the people to serve the government. And we have to stand up against these atrocities. These are atrocities, people. You know, these are atrocities. And now it's in our borders. It's at our borders. It's coming into our country. We got sex offenders coming in. We got terrorists that aren't even Latino or Hispanic. They're slipping them in there. They're arresting them. That's just the ones they could get. Can you imagine cell groups from terrorist organizations slipping into this country? What are their agendas? What are their agendas? These leftist Democrat liberalists, they don't care what their agendas are. They got their money. They put all their trillions of dollars in banks all over the world. Where do you think that money went through, those trillions of dollars? Those aren't even real foundations. They're set. That's why we have to rise up. They're bankrupting this country, and they sold it out. But you know what? They forgot about one thing. They forgot about the spirit of the United States of America, the people, the backbone, and the blood that runs through the flag. And that's another thing. This Macy, whatever her name is, Macy Gray, talking about changing the flag. Really? You know, really? Well, why don't you take yourself and step out of the country and change someone else's flag? Or go buy an island with all your millions of dollars and put your own flag on it. There's nothing wrong with our flag. I'm going to tell you what our flag represents, okay? I'm going to tell you what it represents. And it's very interesting, okay? Now, this is what I learned, okay? What do the colors of the flag stand for? The colors of the pales, the vertical stripes, are those used in the flag of the United States of America. White signifies purity and innocence. Now, yeah, somebody was saying, oh, the United States is not pure. You know, the United States there's things about the United States that aren't right. And, you know, the United States have done a lot of bad things, you know. Yeah, okay. But when this country was founded, it was a new country, okay? And it signifies the purity and innocence of the foundation of this country. The red, okay, what does the red signify? Hardness and valor. Hardiness and valor. Because that's, as American people, we have to have valor to stand up for what's right. Okay, the blue is the color of the chief. Okay, the broad band above the stripe signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. And that's what we need today, folks. We need justice. We need justice to happen. And not only to speak out against the atrocities and to stand up, but we need to act. We need to act as American people and stand up. When you get more than 3, you got people, okay? Where the Bible says, where 2 or more are gathered in the midst, I will be there. Look, as a nation, we should take one day at least out of the month, even the week, and we should take that time, at least 30 minutes, and go before God and pray for this country, that God will open up the eyes of those who are still blind and those who can make an effectual change in what's going on to rid us of this current administration, okay? and to help the world around us that's also suffering because of the agenda of these wicked people. Okay? We got to stand. We got to stand. We got to rise. We got to stand. We got to fight. We got to rise. We got to stand. We got to fight. The time to stand against the tyranny of the wicked is now. It's now. Look, did you know that Trump is going to, at the end of this month, he's going down to the border with the Texas Governor Greg Abbott? That's going to be so awesome, man, that our president is going to be there. And he's, you know, when he sees that, he already knows it. But, you know, just by him going there shows that he's a real president. He's a real president. He's not afraid. He's not afraid like Mala Kamala. Now, what I want to share with you is I'm going to be alongside of it, but I want to be talking about it as we go through it. And what the GOP is saying. They want her out. They want her out, you know, and too bad they just want her out. They need to take the other guy out, you know, if you get my drift. So he needs to be out of there. We need our president back in where he belongs. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay. What happened? The camera went out. Okay. So let me adjust this, folks, right now. For some reason, it wasn't making sound. Let me put it back on. All right.
Rothman, for this letter, because you're right on the money. It's been almost 90 days, 3 months since Vice President Harris was given the title of czar of being head of our border security, and she has yet to go down there. Unbelievable. I am also the co-chairman of the House Border Security Caucus. I've been to every single southern border state. I've taken several parties. Many of the gentlemen and ladies behind me have attended and gone to see this disaster and this crisis that's been unfolding and developing on our border for months now, since the Biden administration came into office, and very foolishly reversed a number of really highly efficient policies that were developed by the past administration, a number of which incredibly, this was the only way they could turn
Okay, so I had to take the video down for some reason. You know, the devil's really trying to stop what needs to be said. So I'll just say what they were saying over here. Is basically these guys are talking about how Kamala is not doing her job, each one of these senators. Unfortunately, now the crisis is getting so out of hand. Can you hear me now? Yeah, the crisis is getting so out of hand that now senators are stepping up, the GOP stepping up, and also mainstream, a lot of the mainstream medias are stepping up and finally realizing, you know, that things are bad. Things are bad, you know. And let me remove that. And I had another clip that I'm going to show you. It really doesn't need sound, but there's words to it. And unfortunately, this is part of what's going on in the border, with the border crisis. Okay. And what's going on with the kids, you know. Let me see if I can. I'm going to share this video file with you right now. And here we go. Okay.
Teníamos que comer.
¿Qué te dijo tu mamá antes de irte?
Me dijo, no vayas a llorar, porque yo lloro. Me decía que no me diera por vencido, que si llegas teníamos que llegar bajo la misericordia de Dios. Y también me dijo que iba yo a tener una mejor vida.
The minute that you begin to unwind Title 42, you're going to have very significant numbers of families crossing from Mexico into the United States. I think we can eminently handle this if the planning goes in. My fear is that it is going to become a political fight.
All of these kids that you see here behind me are unaccompanied little children. They vary from different ages. These are probably all the youngest that we have currently in custody. And these kids cross by themselves. The parent pays a fee to the smuggler, the cartel member, or the smuggler at this point will bring them to the river, we'll hand them over to the raft, we'll place them in a raft and say, okay, go. When you get to the other side, they'll explain to them, there's gonna be an officer, they'll explain what we wear and tell them, turn yourselves into them.
Tengo con nadie estar, solo tengo mi mamá y mi papá nos abandonó desde chiquita.
¿Y quién te cuidaba?
Pues ahorita estaba con una de mi hermana, pero ella ya tenía a su marido y su marido no la trataba nada bien.
Ok.
Por eso mejor me decidí venir.
So it's pretty sad that this current administration is not acknowledging any of this that's going on. They're lying, and they're just saying like, "Oh, I've been to the border. I've been to what border were you in? Canada border, huh? The California Mexico border? No, I'm talking about real borders, lady. You know, you got to go where the action is, what's happening, and see." But she has failed miserably to do that. You know, that's the problem. She has failed to do what she was supposed to do, you know, and that's why we have to rise up, especially our Hispanic, Latino communities. We need to rise up against this atrocity, because these are our people, folks. These are our people. We got to stand up. And it's sad that this is being allowed. It's very sad that this is being allowed. We got to change things, you know. And one thing that bothers me is that there's no accounting where these kids are going. And if like I said earlier about the egg farmer situation, if that's happening to one set of children, where are these other kids going to? There needs to be accountability, and there needs to be where we need to know, okay, what we need to know, all right, what is happening to these children? Where are their parents? Okay, what is happening? Okay, that's what we need to know. We need to begin to really dig more deeper into this, because I'm sure we're going to find a trail of some interesting things because of this administration. We're definitely going to find out what's going on. So that's what I wanted to cover. I wanted to cover this today and talk about these situations that have been going on. So God bless you. Thank you for this time I got to spend with everybody. I'll be back again with more. My wife will be back again with more news. Shout out to all our brothers and sisters sharing the truth. God bless you. May God bless you. May God keep you. May his face shine down upon you. And thank you, everybody, for your comments. And may he give you peace. We love you. Make sure that you like, comment, share. Please share the video. Go to our YouTube channel, In Truth News, all in capital letters. We also have the Seed Live, which we have some pretty good ministry things going on with that. And please reach out to us. You know, we always like to hear from everyone watching. If you have any questions, any prayer requests, anything like that, it's all about any information too that you come across that we can share. Please do. If you're starting your own little thing, we would love to help you. That's what we're here for. That's what God put us together for, to help each other in all of this and to learn the truth and for the great awakening. Okay, before I get off, I do want to read this. I love reading this because this is a part of who we are. Okay. First Amendment. Let's read it together. The Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble to petition the government for a redress of grievances. That's what we need to do, okay? We need to redress this government. We need to retake this government, redress it. That's right. If anything's going to get reset, it's not going to be this country. It's going to be the government. All right. Let's go to the Second Amendment. All right. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. That's our right, people. We have a right to keep and bear arms. They don't tell us what to keep as far as arms. We are the people who have to have the right, because when they take that right away, they take our freedom. Okay. And it's for the necessary to the security of a free state, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Why? It's necessary for our states security for us to bear those arms. Okay, good people, good conservative people who love this country can bear their arms. Why? Because we need to protect this country from those who are trying to destroy it. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to read that. I want to wrap it up, and I just want to say thank you. Kyle Cooper, yes, Father God, we just asked for Kyle, Lord, his wedding, and we pray that he has a wonderful wedding. And God bless you and your wife. I pray blessings over you in Jesus' name. And congratulations, Kyle. And thank you, Mike, for your comments and everything. We love you. And God bless you. We look forward to seeing you soon. And remember, rise, stand, and make your voice known through everything that's going on.